How do you properly dry homemade pasta? Have you ever wondered how to properly dry homemade pasta? It's a great question, especially if you want to preserve that delicious flavor and texture for later use. Let's break it down step by step. First, when you make your fresh pasta dough, roll it out and let it rest on a flat, floured surface for about 15 minutes. This resting time helps firm up the dough, making it easier to cut without sticking or tearing. After that, cut your pasta into your desired shapes, whether it's fettuccine, tagliatelle, or something else. If you plan to cook it right away, let it dry for another 15 minutes. For long noodles like tagliatelle or fettuccine, twist them into nests. This not only looks appealing but also helps them dry evenly. If you want to store your pasta for later, you will need to hang the noodles on a pasta drying rack or lay them out in a single layer on a mesh drying tray. This method allows for good airflow around the pasta. The ideal drying environment is warm and dry. However, be careful to avoid excessive heat or humidity. If the pasta dries too quickly, it can crack or become brittle. A good rule of thumb is to let your pasta dry overnight or up to 24 hours. You will know it is ready when it feels completely hard and brittle to the touch. If you are making stuffed pasta like ravioli or tortellini, cut and fill the pasta first. Then, allow it to dry so the parcels seal properly. Make sure not to stack or crowd the pasta during drying. This can lead to sticking and uneven drying. Once your pasta is fully dried, store it in airtight containers at room temperature. This will keep it from absorbing moisture and prevent mold. Properly dried homemade pasta can last 1 to 2 months when stored this way. If you prefer not to dry it, you can also freeze fresh pasta. To recap, the key steps are to let your freshly rolled dough rest on a floured surface. Cut and dry the pasta briefly before cooking or longer for storage. Use drying racks or mesh trays for airflow. And store fully dried pasta in airtight containers. Following these techniques will help you enjoy your homemade pasta at its best, whether you cook it fresh or save it for later.